we're going to do a little bit of silk reeling, kind of circles practice, just kind of moving in circular and curvilinear motions. And then we're going to transition into a seated practice, doing a little bit of microcosmic orbit, working with those circles in a different form. But to start with, find yourself in a stable position, your feet shoulder width or maybe a generous shoulder width apart. We'll begin with some warm-ups, blurring into the circles. So start with your right shoulder, bring it forward, up, back, and down. Just circle it. And don't worry here about coordinating the movement with the breath. Just let the breath be the breath and the movement be the movement. Switch to the other shoulder. And here you'll see as I'm doing this, or maybe you'll see, I'm not purposely trying to isolate the movement of the shoulder. I'm kind of letting the rest of my body move into it too, but I am moving the shoulder vis-a-vis the rest of the body too. Now both shoulders up, back, and down. We're just kind of shrugging. So just turning those shoulders in circles. Now we'll go the other way. So take your right shoulder, if you're me, bring it back, forward, down, back, up. So back, up, forward, and down. There we go. And then your left shoulder. And you do both shoulders. Back, forward, down, and then back again. All right, now you're going to bring the backs of the hands together. Reach the hands up and separate them down. So back to the hands up, out, and around. And you could do this with squatting up and down, but maybe let's not do it that way. You can do a little bit of rising and falling of the hips if that helps. So pressing in the legs, the hands come up and come down. And it's like you're going through like a tube, reaching up as your hands make this figure eight. There's this, stovepipe. That'd be kind of sooty, I guess, but whatever the image is, we're going to reverse it. So now you're going to come up. Now you're going to go in through the top of that stovepipe and down. Do one more like that up. And take a little bit wider than a shoulder width stance. Start with your right arm. Have your left hand kind of at the hip. And just send it palm up, down low. Turn it around the elbow. So the elbow for now is staying relatively in place. It can move a bit. Just kind of turning that hand around that arm. Like so, I guess the forearm is rotating around the elbow. You're going to switch sides to the other one. Down, palm up, away, and come up. Down, palm up and away, and just around. Keep the elbow relatively still in space. All right, now that you got that practice down, go back to, what is this, your right arm. And then it's going to come up. And like think of this as like a snake head, or kind of looking around, say, hey, how's it going? You're going to shift the weight. So maybe 60% of the weight is in your right leg. You're kind of looking over there, letting the snake head look over there. And then it's going to come down. You're going to push back. So now 60% of the weight or so is in your right leg. So you're going to turn, and then you're going to push to the right, palm up. Turn, push to the right, palm up. Turn, push to the right, palm up. So you're turning with it up high, and you're pushing down low. And then you're going to switch sides. So now your snake head is on the left hand. You're going to say, hey, let's look over there. And then go back this way. So you're pushing with the left hand, this is, look into your right. And then it's palm up, down low as you go back to the left. So turn and back and forth. Turn and back and forth. Now we're going to start both hands together. So if you're near me, your left hand is up, your right hand is down low. You're going to turn and look to the right. And then turn and look to the left. It's like you're getting funky at the club now. That's how the kids do it, I think. Just turning and turning back. You can slow it down a little bit. Now, I'm going to come back to the right hand. And whereas before, when it was up high, we look this way. Now we're going to go the other way. We're going to turn into it when it's up high. And then we're going to shift away as it goes low. So it's the kind of opposite phase, like, hey there, snakehead, I'm looking at you. And then back. So shift into it when it's up and shift away as it goes down and away from you. Switch sides. So now left hand is up. You're looking at it. You've shifted into it and say, hey, we're going our separate ways. Oh, hey, we're back again. And then, hey, it's not you, it's me. We'll just have to go our separate ways. Back and forth, a lot of drama here, but you're shifting away as the hand goes palm up away from you. You're shifting into it as it comes up. And now you're up looking at it and up looking at it. Two hands at once. So up looking at it, up looking at it, back and forth. Release that down. Have your right foot forward, left foot back, a kind of bow stance. Your back foot is at a 45-degree angle. I don't think you can see my foot, but trust me, it is. Front foot is kind of straight forward. You're going to sink the hips a little bit. You're going to imagine you've got like a big bowling ball in front of you. I guess it's floating. It's like light, but it's got inertia to it, like a bowling ball. You're going to shift the weight back. So maybe 60%, 70% of the weight's on the back leg. And you're holding the ball in front of the navel. Ball's almost touching the body. And you're going to shift forward and you're going to push the hands out in front of the body. And you're going to shift back, pull it back. So you're shifting forward. And you're pulling it back. And as you do it, imagine that the ball has this inertia to it. So you begin pushing with the hips. And then it goes out. And then you begin pulling back with the hips. And then you pull it in. So you're moving it like so. And then you're going to get ready to begin launching it. So now from the navel, you're going to bring it up to the level of the heart, but you're going to pull it back down and in. You're going to do this a few times, get it ready to go before the thing takes flight. All right, now here we go. You're going to release it. Watch it float away. Go be free, imaginary bowling ball of light. Shift the weight back. The hands come back to the side. And then another bowling ball merges out of the abdomen. Send it out and around. Push, release. If the breath comes into phase with the movement, that's fine, but just let the rhythm of the breath be natural here. There's different ways of doing these kinds of practices. You could really focus on being really precise, and that's beautiful, and sometimes that's the way to do it. And other times you can be a little bit sloppy and just let the repetitions kind of teach you where the movement goes. It depends on your purpose. All right, we're going to switch sides. Now, your left foot is forward. You're pushing the ball forward and back to the height of the navel. Push forward and pull back. Push forward. All right, just beginning to play with and learning to feel different ways parts of the body can coordinate with each other. And then you're going to launch it up to the height of the heart. And you're going to pull it back down. Launch up to the heart. Pull it back down. Let it go this time. Go be free. Shift the weight back. Push out of the navel and back. Push. Circle back and around. Push. Circle back and around. We'll do one more of this. Push. Circle back and around. Let's see. Have your right foot forward. Imagine a bowl in front of you, and you're going to circle your hands clockwise, shifting the weight forward as the hand comes forward, shifting the weight back as it goes back. It's like you're just stirring whatever is in this big cauldron in front of you. And imagine maybe that this elixir or whatever it is that you're stirring in the cauldron begins to thicken just a little bit, so that now the movement more easily comes from the elbows and the hands are kind of flowing and kind of dragging behind in this liquid as you're stirring it up. It begins to thicken, and then bring it up to the shoulders. And then the elbows follow the shoulders, and then the hands follow the elbows, and then see if you can drop it down so that it's the heart that's starting the movement. The shoulders follow the heart, and the elbows follow the shoulders, and then the wrists and the fingers flow behind it. And you drop it down to the space behind your navel. And if it feels like that, that's great. And if it's just more like abstract intention to begin from behind the navel, that's fine too. You're just stirring. And then have the hands going to be flat, like you're just kind of rubbing now a surface in front of you, but still the same shift. And bring that front foot back, so you're now just circling the hands in front of you. And the hands are doing the circling. Like in Hunyuan Qigong, there's like belt channel grinding or small belt channel grinding now. And then you're going to begin to do it in a figure-8 pattern. With both hands kind of be together. So you swing out to the side, forward, and then back in and back. Out to the side, forward, back in and back. A big figure-8. And then now, as you come over to your right, you're just going to transition into big circles going counterclockwise here. Still rubbing that tabletop. And step your left foot forward, rubbing the tabletop, beginning to shift the weight again. And then begin to let the hands just kind of stir now. And as you look down at your hands, they're coming out to the side on the right, forward, and coming back in over that left knee. And just kind of relatively, I guess it's simple. I mean, just stand with one foot a little bit forward and use your hands to stir the liquid in an imaginary cauldron. And there's also a lot of subtlety here, I suppose, but it's kind of simple, kind of goofy technique. It's goofy if you start and doing it in the aisle at Walmart, but it's a lot going on here. And you're going to bring that foot back. Now you're just going to begin to imagine there's a ball in front of you, and it's hovering there, and you're rotating it. And so as the hands come away from the body, it comes up the surface of the ball, up towards you. You're kind of rolling the ball back to you now, just turning the ball. And the hips can move a little bit with it as you do it. Might be nice, try like turning the ball with the hands more on the sides. You can go faster than me if that feels better right now. Sometimes the fast does different things, or you can slow it down. You could do this longer, but we're working our way toward a little bit of seated meditation. And so we're just kind of going through the motions. And that's what we do all the time anyway. Now you're going to turn it the other way. Like you're rolling the ball forward away from you. You're just going to turn it now, hands top and bottom, kind of rolling the ball away. Turning the ball, make the ball a little bit smaller, like it's down in your abdomen, and you're just kind of turning it. And then showing that I'm just turning it out in front of the body here, like so. And then begin to imagine the ball comes into the body and you just rolling the ball in your abdomen. Both hands are in phase with each other now. You can shift hips forward as you roll up the surface of the back of the ball. Shift hips back as you roll down the front. The ball, you might think of it as being the size of your body, but make it be a little bit bigger if it needs to be. Just like imagine your body and the ball somehow are finding, some kind of set of dimensions. The ball is rolling inside your body, even if the hands are making bigger circles. It doesn't have to be perfect here. You're just kind of stirring and turning the ball. And then from here, just kind of let that be without worry about having a graceful transition. Now make your way to a seat. And you can do this on the floor if you like, or on a chair, or a stool, or on the edge of the bed. It can be nice if you can find a seat where you can sit with the feet flat on the ground with a surface below you. And then find yourself in a comfortable, stable seat. You can, if you have a mudra you like holding your hands in, you can do that. But here, I'm going to invite you to, if you don't have a particular mudra in mind, just let your hands be palm down on the knees or the thighs. You're going to rock forward and back a little bit here. And maybe spiral the upper body. I invite you to close the eyes here. You always can do this with the eyes open, if you prefer. But for the visualization and the kind of kinesthetic experiences that we're going to try to attend to here, it can sometimes be helpful to have the eyes closed. Kind of rotate the upper body the other way now just a few times, kind of spiraling around. And finding your way into what feels like stillness for you. The feet, if you're sitting in a chair or the edge of the bed or a stool, the feet more or less flat on the ground, modifying it however you need to for your body right now, in whatever position you're in. And then notice the parts of the body touching closest to the earth, the parts of the body touching whatever you're sitting on right now, if that's different than the part that's closest to the earth. Take a moment and lift your shoulders up, bring them back and down, just inviting the sternum to lift a little bit here, very gently. Tongue up to the roof of the mouth. Imagine a thin string or filament pulling up on the crown point of your head, just to invite the spine to be a little bit longer. And as you breathe in, just invite the breath to fill the space of your abdomen. As you breathe out, let it release from there as the navel gently pulls back a bit toward the spine. So breathing in, and let the abdomen expand forward and out to the sides. As you breathe out, it releases back in toward the center of the body. If that doesn't come easily, then just breathe and feel the expansion as you breathe in wherever it wants to be felt in the body. As you breathe out, release. Just notice the going back toward the center that happens on the out breath. As you stay with this, just the moving of the breath, imagine you can look down inside your abdomen. You can see that ball of light that we were playing with before, the one that we kept launching in the silk reeling practices. Well, guess what? It's one and the same ball, and it's down in your abdomen. The front of the ball, now just a ball of very clear light as like photons, but also it's light in the sense that it doesn't have weight to it. It's not heavy. And the front of the ball is touching from inside the body against the navel. The back of the ball is touching on the point of the spine directly opposite the navel, called the Mingmen, or the gate of life. The bottom of the ball is resting inside the body at your perineum, the meeting point of yin, the Hunyuan acupuncture point between the legs. And then let your imagined or felt sense of the proportions of your body just adjust so that this beautiful round ball of light, you can just imagine it, experience it as if it's in your body, just like that. The bottom resting at the perineum, the front of the ball at the navel, the back of the ball very gently touching from inside the body at the Mingmen on your back. And just breathe in and notice the ball gently expand in all directions, just a little bit as the body expands. And breathe out and let it release back to center. The mind is wandering, that's okay. Just invite the mind to focus on this as best it can. If it's not perfect, just smile at it. And as you look at the ball and you feel the ball in the body, imagine your breath is like a pair of hands that can turn the ball like we were doing before. And take your hands and imagine they're somehow able to touch the surface of the ball at the bottom. And the breath hands, as you breathe in, begins to rotate the ball. That point on the surface begins to turn past the tailbone and sacrum, curving up over inside the body, a little bit below the solar plexus, perhaps. And as you breathe out, that point on the surface of the ball rolls down the front, past the navel, back to the perineum as the ball begins to rotate, as if turning forward in the body. So you breathe in and you rotate the ball, turning that point on the surface of the ball from the bottom along the back up. The ball stays in place, turning on a very stable axis in the body. Breathe out, roll that point on the surface down the front, just turning the ball with the breath. So breathing in, roll the back of the ball, turning it up the back side of the ball as it rotates on its axis. Breathe out, roll that point on the surface down the front. Tongue is up to the roof of the mouth. Following that point on the surface of the ball with your eyes. Eyes are closed. If they're open, you can do it that way too, but breathing in, and it rolls from the bottom along past the sacrum, up past the Mingmen, arcing up and forward. Then breathing out, and it rolls down the front past the navel, past the sexual center, back down to the perineum, to the meeting point of yin. Follow the pace of your breath. If it's faster or slower than I'm guiding, that's fine. Follow your breath. Breathing in, turning the ball up the back. Breathing out, turning the surface of the ball down the front. The ball begin to roll a little bit faster than the breath now. Breathing in and adding energy up the back as the ball goes a bit faster than the breath, just spinning on its axis. Breathe out, add a little bit of energy down the front, very gentle. It doesn't have to go too fast. The ball will begin to slow back down as it comes back into phase with the breath, breathing it in up the back with the breath. Breathing it out, rolling it down the front. few more rounds like that. You can keep with this as long as you want. You want to close out the full practice with me right now. And just release the ball from the turning. Just let the ball come to a still point sitting in your lower abdomen. Guessing the full abdomen, taking up that space. Just notice the ball as you breathe in, it gently expands with the breath on the in-breath. As you breathe out, it releases back toward its original size a few times. And let that ball just remain there. You bring your attention to the parts of the body touching the earth, touching your seat. Place your hands against your knees or thighs or whatever they're touching. If your eyes are closed, you can open the eyes, rock back and forth a few times. Just begin to come out of this. Just take a look around and notice what things feel like. And then here, just take your hands, rub them together. Just hover your hands in front of the closed eyes. Or you can touch the face too. You can press the palms gently against the eyes. And you're going to take your hands, you're going to brush over the top of the head, down to the back of the neck and out. Just clearing it out 3 times. Take a moment and rub your mid to lower back like you're sending some love to your kidneys. Maybe taking your fist and tapping there. Take your left arm, palm out, you're going to rub down the inside of the left arm with the right hand. Turn the arm over, rub up the outside / side of the arm. Go down the other arm, down the inside, up the outside, the legs, run your hands down the side / back, and up the inside / front. And then, for me, you're going to sneeze. Chi decided to do that. I'll blame that. When you're done that, you look around and you notice what things feel like, and then go about your day and pretend nothing happened. Thank you, everybody. All right.